You were taught to save money. Put it in the bank. Keep it safe. Let it grow. That is what responsible people do. But here's the question nobody asked you when they gave you that advice. Who benefits most when you keep your money in a bank? Because it is not you. Most people believe a bank is a safe place where their money sits and waits. What a bank actually is a business that takes your money, lends it out at a higher interest rate than it pays you, and keeps the difference as profit. You deposit money. The bank lends it to someone else at 10, 15, 20% interest. The bank pays you 1 or 2%, sometimes less. The spread between what the bank charges borrowers and what it pays depositors is one of the most consistently profitable business models in human history. And you fund it every single day while believing you are being financially responsible. But that is just the surface. The deeper mechanism is debt itself. Economist Michael Hudson, one of the world's leading experts on financial history, has spent decades documenting how debt has been used not as a neutral financial tool, but as a mechanism of control. He found that ancient societies periodically canceled debts, what the Bible calls the Jubilee, precisely because they understood that unpayable debt concentrates wealth in the hands of creditors while permanently subjugating debtors. That insight did not make it into the modern financial curriculum. Instead, you were taught that debt is normal, that a mortgage is the responsible way to own a home, that student loans are an investment in yourself, that credit cards are a convenient tool. And by the time most people are 30, they have accumulated layers of debt so deeply woven into their monthly existence that living without it feels impossible. This is not an accident of individual choices. It is the architecture of the system. Here is how it works at the macro level. Governments borrow money from central banks. Central banks create that money by issuing bonds. The debt is repaid through taxation. Citizens pay taxes to repay money created out of nothing by an institution with the exclusive legal authority to do so. As economist John Kenneth Galbraith wrote, the process by which banks create money is so simple that the mind is repelled. When something this important is this poorly understood by the people it affects most, that lack of understanding serves someone. And it is not the depositor. Consider what compound interest does over time. When you borrow, compound interest works against you. Your debt grows faster the longer it takes to repay. When a bank lends, compound interest works for it. The return grows automatically without additional effort. Robert Kiyosaki described this as the fundamental difference between assets and liabilities. The financially educated put money to work for them. The financially uneducated spend their lives working for money that flows directly into the hands of those who understand the system better. The problem is not that the system exists. The problem is that it is never explained honestly to the people inside it. That the financial literacy required to navigate it is not taught in schools. And that those who profit most from widespread financial ignorance have very little incentive to change that. So what do? First, understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. Good debt acquires assets that generate income greater than the cost of the debt. Bad debt acquires liabilities that drain money monthly. A mortgage on a rental property can be good debt. A car loan for a vehicle that depreciates immediately is almost always bad debt. Second, understand that inflation is a hidden tax. When governments print money, the value of every pound or dollar you save decreases silently. The bank account that feels safe is losing value every single year. Third, become financially literate as an act of self-defense. Not because money is everything, but because understanding how it actually works protects you from a system that profits from you not understanding it. You were taught to save money. Now you know who that advice was really serving.